Hello again, everybody. It's USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. Here's what's trending on the international front. It's still World Wrestling Month, and looking back, it was a tremendous week for international wrestling. Some of the most important competitions and meetings took place at home and around the world. We start first with the hosting of two very successful events here in the U.S. New York City's Rumble on the Rails. It took place in Vanderbilt Hall at Grand Central Terminal May 15th. That was followed just a few days later by United for Wrestling at the LA Sports Arena on the 19th in California. Overseas, the FILA Extraordinary Congress was taking place in Moscow, Russia, as the sport of wrestling voted for and enacted changes, exciting changes, in its continuing effort to keep the sport in the Olympic Games. Well, the decisions that were made in Moscow at the FILA Congress will forever change the sport as we know it. The goal and design was to improve the sport. Well, the result was a series of bold moves. In short, the evolution of the sport had begun. It started with the FILA Bureau meeting, where the International Governing Council met on a number of important topics. The first was to nominate current acting FILA president Nenad Lalovic of Serbia for approval in the position of president. Lalovic was named acting president in February during the Bureau meetings in Thailand when former FILA president Rafael Martinetti resigned. The Bureau finalized changes in the FILA Constitution and improved the rules of the sport for approval for the Congress. We go to day two. The Congress saw the leaders from 111 wrestling nations meet with FILA Bureau members at Moscow's Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Another first for the sport. The international media covered the Congress. How about that? In all, 94 reporters from 43 outlets covered the event and shared the resulting news with the world. Three-time Olympic champ and FILA Bureau member Alexander Karelin of Russia was a much sought-after interview prior to the meeting, along with many of the sport's greatest leaders. Now, when the delegates assembled, acting President Lalovic welcomed them and challenged them to make the changes that were needed to keep the sport in the Olympic program.
We are at an important time in the history of our sport. Today, we begin to change, to ensure our future in the Olympic move. What we do today will impact what happens to us as a sport.
Well, the presentation of the new FILA Constitution was the first order of business, included more women and athletes in the governance of FILA, and at least one woman will become a FILA vice president. The new FILA Bureau will include 19 elected members, including 3 seats reserved for women and 3 seats reserved for Olympic and/or world champs. The Women in Sports Commission and a Sports for All Commission were new commissions put into place. Then it was time for the discussion of rules. FILA Vice President Stan Desick of the United States described the sweeping changes to the delegates.
Our mission was to fashion a set of rules that the viewing audience understood. They were more dynamic, yet they provided a level playing field for all of the participants.
Well, the rule changes were passed and implemented immediately. Among them are a cumulative score for the entire bout. The structure of the match is now 2 3-minute periods, and a takedown is worth 2 points. Both freestyle and Greco-Roman will now become more exciting and dynamic for viewers and participants. Well, the Congress voted to eliminate grappling and amateur mixed martial arts as recognized styles of wrestling under FILA management. The upcoming World Championships in Canada will be held, however, but FILA will not host events in these styles next year. Pancration and beach wrestling will remain as non-Olympic styles of the sport. It was then the presidential election took place. Lalovic was presented as the nominee by the FILA Bureau, and each nation was asked to vote. The vote to approve him was 125-7, making him the 7th president in the history of FILA. He delivered his presidential acceptance speech.
With that, I open this great opportunity as a family. And I thank all of you for being here today. And I open the Congress in this beautiful city of Moscow. Thank you.
President Lalovic, Vice President Desick, and Russian FILA Bureau member Mikhail Mishvili answered the questions.
We will work feverishly to put the rules suggestions into the correct language and format of a rule book and disseminate that to all the international federations as soon as possible.
Next up for the sport, the very much anticipated key vote of the IOC Executive Board, scheduled for May 29th in St. Petersburg, Russia. Wrestling, of course, will be evaluated along with 7 other sports. 3 or 4 will move on to September's IOC General Assembly meeting in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The final program of the 2020 Olympic Games will be determined at that time, and we, of course, will cover that event from top to bottom. We'll be right back.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
The 2013 World Team Trials for both juniors and seniors will be held June 20th through the 23rd in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is your chance to see national champs, world medalists, Olympians, all competing to see who will represent the U.S. at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary, and the FILA Junior World Championships in Sofia, Bulgaria. Visit www.theworldteamtrials.com for all your ticketing and travel information. ASICS is the proud sponsor of USA Wrestling's national teams.
Well, as you know, World Wrestling Month started May 11th in Chicago with Greco-Roman's Kirby Cup. May 15th, the eyes of the wrestling world turned to New York City. The Rumble on the Rails, that's the event that featured a pair of duels with national teams from the United States, Iran, and Russia. Historic Vanderbilt Hall in Grand Central Terminal was transformed into a wrestling arena with a raised mat and more than 1,000 fans. The freestylers from the U.S. and Iran would start the event. Numerous wrestling legends were in attendance. 2-time Olympic champ Bruce Baumgartner, wrestling legends Jim Shear, Leroy Smith, and actor Billy Baldwin, Olympic champs Kurt Angle, Cale Sanderson, and Jake Varner with PSU star David Taylor were there as well. Well, the U.S. battled Iran, and that was aired on national television by NBC Sports Channel and webcast live on TeamUSA.org. When the dust cleared, Iran had emerged with a 6-1 victory, edging Team USA in a number of very close bouts. The highlight for the U.S. was the debut of 4-time NCAA champ Kyle Dake. He did so at 163 pounds. Iran's Hassan Temasabi was the opponent. Both periods went to the clinch. Dake won the first in the defensive position, getting a 2-point crotch lift. In the second, he won the ball draw and lifted up and took him down for the winning point.
Going out there was super loud, super intense. You know, the emotions were running high. It felt like we were in Tehran. All the Iranian fans were going nuts. You know, that's one thing we can improve on as a country, is get our fans here going crazy for us. USA, USA. That's what we need. I think it'll be cool.
Well, the other 6 bouts went to Iran with a very loud and proud Iranian fan base cheering their every move. At 145 pounds, 2-time world champion Mehdi Tagavi beat 2013 U.S. Open champ Kellen Russell. The final score there, 3-0, 2-0. Iran also got wins from Olympic bronze medalist Ihsan Laskari at 185 and Komil Gashemi at 264 pounds. At the conclusion, the teams from Iran, the United States, and Russia all posed together on the mat in an act of solidarity and friendship in their unified effort to help keep Olympic wrestling alive. Earlier in the day, we had a chance to talk to one of the sport's biggest proponents, actor Billy Baldwin.
This celebration, the United States versus Iran and the United States versus Russia, 3 of the best, if not the 3 best wrestling programs in the world, all of us together on the same page, a united front in a celebration of wrestling and our cultures, I think is going to be a very compelling and convincing argument for why the IOC should reconsider their decision.
Well, the second duel of the day featured Team USA against Russia in all three styles, and it was a great night for the red, white, and blue. The event was broadcast live on Universal Sports and streamed on teamusa.org as Team USA won 8 of the 9 bouts. The U.S. men's freestyle team swept all 5 of their bouts. It started at 132. 2012 Olympic bronze medalist Coleman Scott beat Artis Sanaa 1-0-0-1-3-0. With 25 seconds remaining in the third, Scott broke out and scored a 3-point takedown.
It feels great to be back here. You know, New York City's been good to me, as we know with last summer. You know, so I love being back here and you know, getting ready to scrap again in this great event.
Well, young American star Logan Stieber mixed it up with the #1 ranked and 3-time European champion Opan Sat. The Russian won an active first period 7-5. It was then Stieber got on his bike and rode. He got 2 big throws to win period 2, 6-0. The third went to a clinch and Stieber won that one too, 3-0.
Really, I felt like I had the same thing I did first period, but things started opening up. You know, maybe he got tired, maybe I figured some things out, but first period, I was trying to do the same thing. You know, I tried to wrestle all the guys the same, basically, just try to score a lot of points.
Well, dominating the deciding third period at 1:45 was 2010 World Team member Brent Metcalf. The former Hawkeye beat Soslin Romanov 0-2-1-0-7-0.
I feel like I was amped up the whole time. I feel like maybe that second period I could give myself more opportunities to score, like the first and the third, but you know, maybe you're hesitant because you got reversed on your shot.
Well, the U.S. crowd was squarely behind U.S. Open runner-up David Taylor. He competed well at 163 pounds against Magomed Kurbanliev, taking period 1, 7-2. He then made a statement, winning by pin in the second.
I'm not a guy who's gonna stand around, you know, just because it's freestyle, I'm not gonna wait for ball grabs. You know, I told Coach, I was like, I might go out and I might lose a match, but it's not because I'm not going to try and score.
163-pound world and Olympic champion Jordan Burroughs ran his winning streak to 53 bouts when he won a tough battle against Saba Kobetsi, 1-1, 5-0, 7-3.
I got a lot of stuff to work on, you know, but that's part of, you know, recognizing that being the champion is not a good enough quality. You know, I was 2012 Olympic champ, is 2013, you know, so I haven't done anything lately. I still got a lot to work on.
Now, at 121 pounds, 2012 world silver medalist Helen Maroulis kept the U.S. momentum going with a second period pin over her opponent, junior world silver medalist Irina Kissel.
I've wrestled matches where someone will come up to me and they say, you know, I wasn't going to let my daughter wrestle, but it seems to be working for you, and you know, and people just don't know about the opportunities, you know, college scholarships, so we have to, you know, keep spreading the word and keep getting it out there.
Then we go to 145 pounds. Kendrick Sanders beat Oscar Asheshkadov 1-0-1-0.
Before our matches, you know, I had a couple of reporters asking me, you know, they weren't too familiar with the sport. So, I mean, I was glad to, you know, help them and, you know, tell them how the score system works and, you know, just get them excited about it.
At 163 pounds, 2012 Olympian Ben Provisor defeated past world champion Mbanko Vishads 1-0-0-1-1-0. The lift in the closing seconds of the final period provided the difference. Well, Russia won the final Greco bout of the night, but it ended 8-1 for the United States. More on our coverage of international news when we return. Stay tuned.
Wrestlers, are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills at the USA Wrestling Cliff Keen Athletic Folkstyle Nationals. Become a national champion. Head to the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa on April 5th and 6th to compete against the best wrestlers in the country. Last year's event featured 1,200 cadet and junior wrestlers from 32 states on 26 mats. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, just days after the Rumble on the Rails, the United for Wrestling Duel was held in Los Angeles as part of the World Wrestling Month, and we were there. The international event featured men's and women's freestyle competition between teams from the U.S., Russia, and Canada. It was the first ever event to be held using the brand new rules, which were approved by FILA a day earlier. A boisterous crowd of 3,500 fans filled the LA Sports Arena as the U.S. men's and women's teams went a combined 7-4 in dual action. Arguably the best pound-for-pound wrestler on the planet, Olympic and world champ Jordan Burroughs dismantled Russia's Saba Kubetsi 14-3. That was the day's final bout. It finished with a technical fall with just 32 seconds left in the first period. Burroughs is now 54-0 on the senior level.
IOC said it wasn't a very, recognizable sport. It didn't have a lot of fan-friendly rules. It didn't have a lot of viewership. But just watching out there, you can tell that wrestling's huge.
Well, junior world medalist and two-time NCAA champ Jordan Oliver also turned in a great performance with 2 wins at 145. Oliver powered in on a double-leg attack for a takedown late in the match to upend Russia's Magomed Kurbanliev 7-6. In his second bout, Oliver knocked off Olympian Hazelin Garcia of Canada 5-2. That's right, I said second bout. He wrestled twice on the day.
When I'm the best is when I'm executing my offense and executing and getting to my shots. So I knew going out there he was going to be strong with his hands, strong with defense. And I just had to be aggressive with my feet and my hands and create action to get to my shots.
Well, 2012 world champ Elena Perescova earned a gritty 4-2 win over past junior world champ Danielle Lepage at 138.
This is the first time the new rules have changed, and this is the first wrestling event that's being debuted across the world, I think. So it's really exciting to be part of it. I think it means a lot to everybody in all countries.
Next, we go to 185 pounds. John Reeder, the former Iowa State wrestler, blasted Canadian Tamerlan Tagziev with a 12-2 tech fall of his own.
I love these new rules. Yeah. You're seeing guys so far in almost the first 4 matches, they hit the 5-minute mark and they're exhausted. Both Canadians are laying on their back.
Well, Chris Pendleton had a dominant performance at 211 pounds. He shut down Manjot Sandhu of Canada 11-0.
California has the opportunity to be a special state in wrestling, and the thing I'm the most proud of for this event is the turnout from the fans.
U.S. Open champ Brittany Roberts looked solid. She downed Canada's Justina D'Estasio 7-2 at 158 pounds.
It was a lot of fun, and I wrestled a good opponent. I wrestled her before. We go back and forth sometimes, but I want to end that.
Other winners included Russian Opan Sad, who won 2 bouts at 132, and Artis Sana of Russia at 121 pounds. Canada had 3 wins, 2 from their women wrestlers, Jasmine Mian at 105 and Genevieve Haley at 112 pounds, and a men's freestyle victory as well from Hazelin Garcia at 145 pounds. 4 youth matches were also held as part of the event, and man, they were exciting. Adding to the buzz were appearances from a number of celebrities and wrestling icons. Actors Billy Baldwin and Tom Arnold were on hand to support the sport. They posed for pictures with world champion and NFL star Stephen Neal, along with MMA legend and pioneer Randy the Natural Couture. MMA stars Daniel Cormier, Chael Sonnen, and Couture all spoke to the crowd prior to the competition. Olympic gold medalists at the event included Dan Gable, John Smith, Bruce Baumgartner, Henry Cejudo, Tom Brands, Brandon Slay, and others. Past world champs Stephen Neal, Clarissa Chun, and Adeline Gray were all at the event as well. We'd like to send a very special thanks to the Simnani Family Foundation, California USA Wrestling, and Beat the Streets LA. They all contributed greatly to the success of this very important event. We go back to the East Coast now, where prior to the event in New York, a special luncheon was hosted by CIPAO at the United Nations to support the sport. Diplomats from the UN and international media were in attendance. Actor Billy Baldwin served as moderator for the program.
I believe that something happened, something clicked all over the world when it was announced that, history notwithstanding, there might not be wrestling in the 2020 Olympics or thereafter. It caused a perfect global storm of emotional reaction on every continent.
Representatives from the Iranian and Russian delegations at the UN made statements on behalf of the sport, and Chairman Bill Scheer spoke about building peace through the sport.
The IOC is a group of folks who are good people who are dedicated to carrying on the Olympic values and torch and preserving this great worldwide movement known as Olympism. And we applaud their efforts, but in this instance, they are wrong.
At the time, he was still acting president, Nenad Lilovic. He spoke about the power of the sport.
Thank all of you correspondents in this room for bringing us news about our work. That video shows the passion of the sport of wrestling. It's the same passion that lives in this building.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is USA Wrestling Weekly.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Now we head to Germany, where 3 U.S. women wrestlers traveled to the German Grand Prix in Dormagen this last weekend, including Catherine Fulp-Allen. She brought home a bronze at 121. She went 3-1 on the event, beating Germany's Eva Sauer in the bronze medal bout. She also had wins over athletes from Kazakhstan and Belarus. Among her achievements included a second-place finish at the 2013 U.S. Open and World University Championship back in 2008. Also competing for the United States, Candice Workman at 105 and Erin Klodgo at 138 pounds. Team Canada won the most gold medals with 3, while Belarus had 2. Well, USA Wrestling's Junior Olympic Wrestling Committee quickly approved FILA's new rules, making them effective immediately at all levels. First up, the 2013 ASICS University Nationals and FIDA Cadet Nationals, May 23rd through the 26th in Akron, Ohio. The event will serve as the World Team Trial for the men's freestyle and Greco-Roman University World Teams. Now, in addition, the champions in the FIDA Cadet division will qualify for the men's freestyle or Greco-Roman U.S. Cadet World Team. The event will be webcast live thanks to a joint effort from USA Wrestling and Flow, similar to the Open coverage in April. Event coverage will be provided by Flow Pro, which is a subscription-based format offered for $20 a month or $150 a year. The Junior Olympic Wrestling Committee has decided that the respective regions will determine the rules for the regional championships. This weekend, Southeast Regionals in Atlanta will be competed under the old rules. Information on the other remaining regionals is available on themat.com. Well, the final event of World Wrestling Month is the Battle at the Falls, which will feature women's freestyle duel meets between Canada, the United States, and the Ukraine. It will take place on the 31st of May from the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. Lineups have been released for all 3 teams. Ukraine will bring world champions Katerina Branistrova at 158 pounds, Gana Vilasenko at 138 pounds, and 2-time junior world champion Alina Stadnik at 147. They'll be joined by world bronze medalist Natalia Sinchin at 130 pounds. Host Canada will be led by world champion Jessica McDonald at 112 pounds and Two-time world bronze medalist Justine Bouchard at 138 pounds. Now, Team USA is going to be bringing all of their 2013 U.S. Open firepower. All the champions will be traveling, including world champion Elena Perescova at 138 pounds, world silver medalist Helen Maroulis at 121, and world bronze medalist Alyssa Lampe at 105. National women's coach Terry Steiner talks to us about the event.
The U.S. and Canada have been a top 5 team, at the world level for a number of years. And then Ukraine has really been the top team in Europe the last 3 to 4 years. So I think it's bringing together, it's going to bring together some great programs, and we should see some high quality wrestling at that event.
Well, it's time for our USA Wrestling Photo of the Week contest. The pictures are sent in by fans and families from around the country and are being considered for our contest page in our magazine and, of course, the USA Wrestling Facebook page as well. This week, the picture was taken by Gail Randall, who sent in this pic of 8-year-old Ryan Randall of the Lions Den Wrestling Club in Anchorage, Alaska. Look at him hitting a headlock on his way to a gold medal at the Nikisi tournament. Nice job. Well, you can have your photographs considered for all of our contests simply by emailing them to the very hardworking Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, that'll do it for this week's show. From all of us at USA Wrestling, I'm Scott Casper, and thank you for watching.